Hey everybody, I just wanted to let everyone know that Tuesday, September 17th, there were a lot of articles about education in the Hartford Courant. And I wanted to put my spin on things and tell you what I think about them. This article right here, State Getting Past Grade So Far. Well, it talks about the new leadership public education adopting more rigorous academic standards and trying tenure to teacher effectiveness. Are you kidding me? You're tying it to teacher effectiveness. Where are all the programs that help teachers get better? Where are the programs that prepare teachers better for dealing with the changing student body? I didn't like anything that it talked about Dan O'Malloy talking about what he is proud of is that Pryor is the chief turnaround officer who oversees the improvement of failing schools. Fine. See the improvement in failing schools, but they're probably still failing. And the reason they're failing is because of statutes like this, where teachers are required to take care of everything based on no help in the school system. Okay, maybe no help is a little bit harsh. There is some help. There's the speech pathologists, there's the psychologists, there's other workers, but we need more, and we need more funding. And yeah, the next article that I'm going to talk about talks about more funding, but it's not enough. And the fact that Ayer links student achievement to teacher performance and teacher preparation programs. Alright, teacher preparation programs, yes. Teacher performance? What if the teacher is doing everything in their power with their education and everything to get their students to where they need to be, and yet they're still not changing? One of my classes in my post-baccalaureate program is of learning disabilities. That is, students who don't have any other medical basis for underachieving in their age-appropriate skills. So, with my other videos of emotional and behavioral disorders, that's not a learning disability. They can be comorbid, but they can't be the reason for the learning disability. And yes, learning disability does exist. Say it with me. Learning disabilities do exist. The next article that I'm going to talk about, this right here, high school fields should light up by November. It's specifically talking about West Hartford, and I have to give a shout out because the fields that are uniting for light are Conard's McKee Stadium Field, and Hall's Chalmer Stadium Field. Both of these schools, Conard and Hall, my mom went to, and it's just funny to see any articles about schools that either of my parents went to. The goal is to have each fall sport team play at least one game under the lights in the new year. Alright, I may be stepping on some toes, but I don't think this is a good idea. First off, it's $500,000 in project budget that could be used for new textbooks, new technology, more papers and other supplemental things for students with disabilities. It could do more staffing. You could probably hire a good, at least 20 low-educated professionals with $500,000. And About the lights, yeah, we need lights. Lights are good. But if you're putting the money into lights, the students are going to stay out later on school nights. They may not have done their homework prior to that, and it's letting teachers, especially in secondary education, know that it's okay. These students have extracurricular activities. They don't need to do their regular curricular requirements. And this slacking leads to a discrepancy in education of different people in the same grade level, in the same expectation level of standards. And when they're applying to colleges or going on to colleges, they'll see they're not as well prepared. Yeah, it's good to have physical education and physical extracurricular activities. You can see I'm not the thinnest person, and I never have been. But these children need to have a cutoff time, and that's why when the field is too dark, that's a really good idea to stop the game, even if it's a tie, and let the students do their homework. I wish they did it before the game, but that cuts into preparation for the game, and I understand that's important. I had to do that. This next article I'm so happy about. Schools to groom scholars. Their enrichment programs. Finally! Enrichment programs! Woohoo! Southington is doing a great job. More educational programs are being added to make sure top students are challenged and learn to the best of their abilities. I am ringing praises. Get it? Ringing praises for Chairman Brian Goralski. Sorry if I messed it up, but I'm a ski too. Go skis! Our goal has always been how to reach more kids, find their strengths, and nurture and challenge them to so they work to their potential. This includes a half hour of instruction daily in grades 1 through 5, tailored to each student's talents and interests. One word of advice I might say is continue that. While they're not able to communicate as well at the kindergarten preschool level, and there's a lot of curriculum that they need to get through, there's still those GTs, gifted and talented, that need to be heard. So make sure that their program starts out preschool and kindergarten, and don't cut it off at 5th grade. When I was an undergrad in college, I was just starting to get my interests heard. I joined the Asian Pop Culture Club, I joined the Japanese Pop Culture Club, I joined Gaming Club, I should have joined the Educational Club. The plan includes achievement tests in the 3rd grade to determine every student's intellectual strengths. I understand we're starting the program in 1st grade. 3rd grade is a really good age to judge what students' strengths are, because it's the same age that the Connecticut Mastery tests were started to give. So I'm, again, ringing those praises. Great job. This next article doesn't have much to do with school, but it does talk about an educator. And my dad recently retired from his career at Bank of America. So, this educator talked about here. Her name is Sharon Smith, and she was the business manager in Glastonbury for 32 years. She seems like a swell person. I haven't met her. I am sorry that I haven't met her, but through her working with 16 different boards of education and 4 superintendents, she's learned that learning is the center and excellence is the hallmark of education. And that's something that I really believe in as well. And her knowledge extends beyond the operational side, and that supports public education. So it's not just about the finances, which that was her main job title, but it's also about being an educator. And a lot of people who aren't in the classrooms kind of forget that idea, that it's not about the finances, it's not about the politics, it's about the students and educating them. So, ringing her praises. Way to go, Sharon. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to meet you before you retired. Last article, guys, I promise. The state gives schools $4.3 million to improve academics. This is talking about East Hartford. I live really close to East Hartford. It's just a few streets away, whatever. And I want to say that the superintendent, Nate Quesnel, I hope I pronounced that correctly, he is an amazing optimist. This article by Suzanne Carlson really painted him as a great guy. Again, I haven't met him yet. He is quoted stating, "We believe that everything has a solution." I love the optimism, so keep it up, because I hope that we can all have hope and belief in a future that is improved, and those schools that are failing or not doing the best or as good as the other school systems can improve. And the steps that are listed to increase their viable chances for improvement are amazing. Number 1, increase students' achievement. Alright, how are we going to do that? I don't know, the article doesn't really state that, but great goal. 2, aligning efforts town-wide. This is essential. I have worked in 3 schools in Vernon, all of the elementary schools in New Britain, all of the elementary schools in Manchester, and 3 elementary schools in Bristol, 1 in Plainville, 1 in Hartford. Like, I've been all over the state. And a lot of students, especially in areas that aren't as well financed, tend to move around a lot, and they try to stay in the same school system. But if they're moving around from house to house, they could be moving from school to school within that district or outside of districts. And discrepancy in education is terrible and devastating to these students. They don't know which way is up or down. Really confusing. So students need a uniform way to understand their education. Even if it's a different teacher, I'm sure that that teacher can build that bond because it's part of the job and it's part of the passion of education. Number 3, implementing programs uniformly across all schools. I just said. Recruiting and fostering high quality staff members. This is important. I've said my educational background, but not everybody has that. There have been suggestions of mandates for next year and subsequent years that teachers are required to have a master's degree. Well, I have a master's degree, yeah, but for teachers who have been teaching 30 plus years, do they really want to go on and get a master's just to keep doing what they're doing? Hopefully it will open their eyes to new techniques and they will change and make their teaching more multiple intelligence by Garner, or more student-friendly with inquiry, student-based inquiry, not teacher-based inquiry. That's just my belief. Nurturing a culture of safety and engagement for students. The inquiry is the engagement aspect, and the safety, all those new mandates about schools being responsible for bullying over the internet, at the home, on the way to school, in school, on the way back home from school, all these different things. So, like I said, Superintendent Quesnell, great job, keep it up, be more specific. I'm sure you have the specificity in other doctrines, but Suzanne didn't really go into detail because you only get this little tiny piece of paper in the newspaper. So that's all I have to say about that. Thank you for listening, and keep posted.